Hello, I'm Dr. Raisa Phoebe, and welcome to Data Doesn't Lie. This week, we will be chatting about how do you prepare for the new year as a single parent? How do we approach 2020? How do we make 2020 a successful year? I have 5 tidbits for you guys today. I have applied all 5 to my life, and I'm sharing them with you, and I hope it helps. I hope it sets you up for success. The first tidbit is celebrate each milestone, right? I think when we take a moment to look at how far we've come and look at what we've accomplished or been through to get to where we are, I think it gives us renewed energy and renewed strength and motivation and joy and peace to keep us going and to actually reach further than where we thought we would get to. So celebrate each milestone, and in celebrating that milestone, have a physical representation of what you've been through, or a physical representation of the time that you've accomplished or you've come through. For me, for example, this marks my first year as being a single parent, and I know that I've overcome a lot to get to this place of peace and content. So celebrate each milestone. But as you celebrate, as we commemorate these milestones, if our celebration involves alcohol, I think it's important that we look at the data, right? So here are the numbers, just the raw numbers. At least 10% of you's children live with a parent who is alcoholic or has an alcohol problem. That is significant. There is data that shows that 35% of children who suffered death or serious injury following neglect or abuse was related to alcohol. Those numbers are out of the UK. Again, pretty significant. Now, the most recent paper I looked at out of 2018 showed that they surveyed about 1,800 parents and asked them questions regarding alcohol consumption, and all these parents had children under the age of 9. The biggest conclusion they drew from that article was that parents who consumed alcohol on a special occasion didn't consider whether or not they would be able to parent the next day. They found that a quarter of the parents, 1 in 4 parents, didn't consider that, whether they would be able to parent the next day. Reassuringly though, and this part made me feel better, they found that most of the parents in that study did plan for childcare as well as transportation during the event that they were at, and 64% of them, more than half of them, did plan for childcare for the day after, right? I think that's even more important because the day after, if you have had a big night out, which you probably did, we're in the new year, I get it, you don't want to parent today. You don't want to parent today. So planning for childcare for your special occasion is as important as planning for childcare for the day after, because what is most important is that we provide timely, effective, and safe care to our children. So in my first tidbit, celebrate each milestone, but do so safely. My second bit of advice is to find dependable and flexible childcare. This is like the holy grail of childcare. Childcare that is dependable as well as flexible. But it is so important because it's literally the foundation to a well-built or well-organized single-parent life. Because once you do this, you can then plan stuff on top of that. I can tell you that it took me a while. It took me about 6 to 8 months of looking on being on multiple wait lists to be able to get the childcare that I have currently for my child. And in the time that I was looking, I was so stressed out. I couldn't plan. I couldn't make concrete plans, at least, for the things that we needed to do, because I wasn't sure how how we were going to be able to watch Alia while either myself or my mom was occupied. And now that it's set up, I'm extremely grateful. So tidbit number 2, find dependable, flexible childcare, and do not be afraid to ask the people around you. Don't be afraid to ask. Ask anybody, ask everybody. People will pitch in, people will jump in, people will surprise you. That's what I did. I asked everybody who knew me, and I made it work. So ask, don't be afraid. My third bit of advice is stay organized. And this is critically important, because if you don't have a process, it's in the beginning of the year, right? We're all motivated, we're all excited, we have renewed energy for the year. We'll be able to go on motivation for the first few months, but after that we'll get tired, other stuff will come up, and we'll find that you're not able to accomplish the things that you wanted to do because you didn't plan or you didn't organize for it. So at the beginning of the year, create a process for the whole year. Create a process for your child for the whole year that is well outlined, visible for everybody who cares for her, such that it can take place even when you're not there. I created a process for my daughter, and I can tell you that I feel much more peace, a lot less anxiety when I'm away at work, knowing that everybody around her, everybody who's involved in a process of caring for her, knows it, and it's going to go smoothly, and there's childcare. So tidbit number 3, stay organized and make it visible. Mine is up on a calendar on the wall, and everybody can see it. So there's no question about where we need to be when. So stay organized. My fourth piece of advice is don't overwhelm yourselves. I'm someone who tends to take on a lot. And then I get stressed out in doing all these things because I want to stay impeccable with my word. I want to do the thing I said I would do. And then as I do it, I realize that I'm just extremely stressed out and tired, and it's just not, it's not good, it's not cute. So this year I'm learning to choose only things that will build a life that I find fulfilling for myself and my child, and that incorporates the people I love, but that doesn't stress me out. And as I do that, I've incorporated two activities for my daughter, and I think those two she really enjoys. We're gonna do swim and we'll do gymnastics. But if I find that as the year goes along, it's not, she's not really enjoying it, or it's not gelling in smoothly with the bigger picture, the bigger plan, guess what? I'm not afraid to reevaluate, take it off the table, find something to replace it, or not even replace it. Just keep a process simplified down to wherever it is that we get to. So do not overwhelm yourselves. I would rather you keep moving forward than you try to do too much and stagnate. My last bit of advice is to incorporate yourself into your plan. We plan for everybody around us, we plan for our children, but we rarely think about planning or incorporating ourselves into the plan, so that as the plan moves forward, we are moving along with it. We're hoping that, we'll get a day here or a couple hours here to just quickly do the thing we want to do. No, incorporate yourself into your plan. In my plan, on the calendar on the wall, I have times that are blocked out and marked off and crossed off for my workouts or my runs. I'm training for a marathon in April for my workouts and my runs, and it's clearly visible. That way everybody sees that and respects the time for you and doesn't schedule things around then. So incorporate yourself into your plan. It's critically important, because your plan cannot keep moving forward if you're not in it, if you're not driving it or pushing it. So put yourselves in there, people. And that's it. Those are my 5 tidbits for 2020 as a single parent. I will summarize them for those of you who are just joining us. 1, celebrate each milestone. 2, find dependable, flexible help. 3, stay organized. 4, don't overwhelm yourselves. And 5, incorporate yourself into your plan. there you have it. I hope 2020 brings you much success, much love, and mucho blessings. Carpe diem, and I'll see you guys next week.